5:30 p.m. in the park, and suddenly a random conversation amongst adults rolls into our ears, elucidating how angry, dramatic, and arrogant these today's teenagers are. How they quarrel with their parents, shout at their siblings, and easily get into an argument with their friends. We also get to hear that they're immoral, shameless, lazy, untidy, and impulsive. What do you all think? Are these correct or totally incorrect? Or unsure, unclear, and myth driven? WhatsApp forwards regarding stupidity, selfishness, and promiscuity of teenagers are known to almost all of us. Almost all of us have at least once heard a comment from our own near and dear ones about teenagers being irresponsible, getting easily distracted, procrastinating everything, and always trying to please their peers. Sometimes these remarks are actually the results of our mistakes, but a lot of times these are the mindset, the prevailing mindset of the society, with misinterpretations and unclear thoughts. Scientifically speaking, the brain continues to change throughout the life, but there are huge leaps in development during adolescence. What's stated by Sarah Johnson, an assistant professor at the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, in The Teen Years Explained, a guide to healthy adolescent development. Let me explain. What more she has said in her study. The brain matter increases during adolescence, and thus it becomes more interconnected and starts possessing more processing power. This leads to development of various skills like decision making in teenagers. However, their decision making can be excessively influenced by emotions, as the teenager's brain relies more on the emotional seats of brain than the rational parts. During this period of time, the part of brain responsible for formation of memories and emotions witnesses changes. These changes, along with all the other hormonal changes, may give rise to experiences such as fear, aggression, sexual attraction, excitement, etc. Similarly, there are a number of facts like teenage brain reacts more strongly to stress than the adults. They're able to look at themselves from various viewpoints, as well as deeply think about what others think of them. When in such situations, they feel an aura of comfort around their peers and tend to connect and understand each other easily, and it becomes peer pleasure. In some course of time, the other parts of the brain also develop, and thus the adolescent reaches a position of equilibrium. But until then, they often misunderstand people. So we can say that the society does misinterpret a few things about the behavior of teenagers, maybe due to lack of scientific knowledge and explanations thereof. But all of these are scientific facts about what's going on in a teenage brain. But surely, none of us feels all of this in our brains. We don't go about saying that my frontal part is not developed and the emotional parts of brains are more oppressive and thus I'm quite vulnerable to mood swings and stress and all of this is okay. No. But then what is actually prevailing in our minds all the time? An ordinary teenager like me is filled with a bunch of thoughts, ranging from acne, friends, teachers, homework, social media handle, terrifying examinations, the mischiefs, bad breath, body odor, low score in a game played, to kind of person they want to be, the kind of place they want the world to be, changes they want in the world. And this list is endless. Sometimes we worry too much, and sometimes we think like adults. There are times when we wish to become an adult as soon as possible, and there are times when we feel we are growing too fast. These all may seem very trivial to any adult, but for us, the teenagers, our lives revolve around these thoughts, and they certainly do become important for us. And one thing that none of us wants is elders criticizing them. Also, we don't want the society to label teenager and that too with a negative connotation. At our homes, we don't want elders to suddenly start talking to us when they feel we're disconnecting with them and suddenly ask so many questions. Teenagers today are no doubt mysterious. They're opening up to new horizons, breaking all the stereotypes, doing things that have never been done before. Amongst all of this, we mess up. And sometimes we end up doing things that we're actually criticized for. We end up being arrogant, impulsive, irrational, insecure, and whatnot. But trust me, none of us wants to be all of this. None of us wants to quarrel with our parents or shout at our siblings or make our friends feel bad about anything. We all have our flaws, and we are trying to be better every day. Every day, we are trying to be a good person, all of us in our own ways. It is required that everybody understands that we just want some emotional support and understanding. Just the way someone stated that our biggest fear is not rejection, but being invisible. And truly, we all want to be admired and deep inside looked at. That's why sometimes we also become attention seekers. Today, it is required that everybody understands adolescence is the first time people are seeing themselves in the world. Meaning, this is the time people open their eyes to what lies beyond families and schools. This means that this is the time for growth, not for misconceptions, misinterpretations, or negative compliments. At the end, I would just like to say that teenage is a delicate phase, but still, let's try to make it beautiful for everybody in the world. Thank you.